Today I'm going to show you how to use EBSCO to search for and find resources about your dictator. EBSCO is a database that collects magazine articles and newspaper articles and journal articles and articles in encyclopedias and that kind of thing about just about any source that you want. Now, the difference between these sources and a lot of sources on the World Wide Web that you would be able to get from Google is that these have all been editorially reviewed. They've been in professional publications, and they're of high quality and they're highly reliable. Let's take a quick look at how to get there. This is the library website, and you go to this little red search EBSCO box. You can type in the name of your dictator and click on the search EBSCO box, or you can just hit return. That'll take you into a results list, not terribly unsimilar to something that you would see in Google, except that it's got a bunch of other fancy options up at the top, so you can add search terms. It's got ways to refine your results on the left-hand side, little menu over there that I'll show you some examples of in a minute. And it's got some things over here. You'll notice that one of these is relevance. This 1071 item list is organized by relevance, which means the ones that are about Nicolae Ceausescu are up at the top, and the ones that just mention him in the article might be at the very bottom. If you wanted to sort them by date, you could do that as well. Now, some other cool things about these result lists. You can see that this one is from the Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia, so it's an encyclopedia entry. This one is from an academic journal. Now, academic journals are written on a pretty high level. So if we want to see if it was something that would work for us, instead of opening up this journal and reading this really high-level piece of writing, all we'd have to do is scroll over this icon, and you get the information about the journal, including an abstract. Scholars have raised concerns about the social costs of the transition from state socialism to capitalism in Central and Eastern Europe, and geographers are particularly interested in the spatial expressions and implications of these costs, including apparently increasing residential segregation. Yeah, this does not look like something that you're going to need in order to find out whether or not Ceausescu and his government satisfy the needs of his people. So let's say that we don't need this really academic stuff, and we only want stuff that's on our level. Well, what we can do is we can refine our results. We're going to go down here. I'll tell you what, limit to full text. That probably would be a good thing to just start off with, because we don't need any lists that just have citations. So that automatically knocked us down to 568. So it knocked our list in half already. But we've still got these academic journals. So let's go ahead and scroll down to things that are going to be relevant for us. You can see here, going back up, that we can also say we only want things between these particular dates, so we could have them, the articles from just the time that Ceausescu was in power, if we wanted to go back that far. Or we could say we just want things that have been recently discovered. Other things we could do is pick just magazine articles. We could just pick primary source documents if you wanted primary sources. But we're going to skip all the way down and make sure that we have things that are on the level that you guys will be able to easily understand. So like I said, this is not the EBSCO database. This is a series of EBSCO databases. So this one, Academic Search Premier, this is a university level database, and it's got 171 hits in this list. Advanced Placement Source is another kind of borderline high school and college level database. So it's also pretty high level. MOS Ultra is for high school. So this one we could work. I mean, we could use if we needed to, if we needed extra sources, but I think maybe these 55 sources within Middle Search Plus will satisfy our needs. So we'll just click on that one, and we'll let this list resort. And there we have it. We've got our 55 middle school level middle search results. Starting off with the encyclopedia entry, and the next one available is a periodical, which is a magazine, in this case Newsweek magazine. And if we scroll over the icon, it'll show us what that abstract is. Reports on the bloody uprising in Bucharest, during which at least 50 protesters were killed, and Romanian President Nicolae Ceausescu, his wife Elena, son Nicu, and brother were arrested. So this is going to talk about the new government and the revolution, so this would probably be a good source for us. So what I could do right now, what I could do is I could say, you know what, I just want to gather a bunch of sources. I could add this one to my folder, or I could print it, or I could email it if I wanted to. Let's take a look at the article itself. So here we go. An article written in Newsweek magazine by a professional writer who had an editor looking over his shoulder making sure that the information was accurate. And it is probably about 2 pages long. It's like reading a 2-page book with the beginning and middle and end. It's really well written, and it's reliable, which is important. And it's probably got a lot of information about whether or not he did a good job defending his country or making laws or maintaining order or caring for citizens or representing the citizens in their country, protecting the citizens. Well, they're the ones that kicked him out, so maybe he didn't do such a good job on that. And so if I feel like this is one that I would like to hang on to, I can put it in my folder up here. Now I haven't signed in yet, and so if I put it in the folder, it's only going to stay there as long as I am looking up sources or other articles during this search session. And whenever I close it or get out of EBSCO, they'll all go away. So what I could do is I could create an account. So I could sign in. So if you haven't already got a username or password, and you don't, unless you've created one of these before, you'll have to create a new account. But that's really easy. All you do is you type in your first name, last name, your email address, and then I would suggest using a username and the password for Panther apps to keep everything straight. Select a secret question, add your answer just in case you lose your login and password information, and then save the changes. And so that way you can sign in, you can add things to your folder, and they'll stay there whenever you log in the next time. It also comes in really handy, or will come in handy, whenever I introduce EBSCO ebooks a little bit later down the line. So meanwhile, if we've decided that this is a good article for our research, one of the things I might want to do is add it to my Noodle Tools project. So I can just cut and paste the citation information. I have to scroll down through all these other citation formats to find MLA. I would just cut and paste that right there into my Noodle Tools citation information field. Another thing that I could do to make sure that I can get back to this exact same article without having to do the search all over again is open up the permalink, which is right here, and if I copy that, there's a place in Noodle Tools to paste the permalink as well. So that way you can always be linked to this article. Two very good, very easy ways to use EBSCO and Noodle Tools together. Now, let's say I definitely want to keep this one and I want to email it to myself. I'll simply click email. I will add my email address. For the subject, I'll just go ahead and put in the title of the article. And I might as well select my MLA citation format. So that will be in the email that I receive as well. And I'll send it to myself. There you go. It's just that simple. Now I return to my list, and I go and I look for something else that will aid in my search.